To lead the Skol chant and sound the Gjallarhorn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jensen.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Skol Show. We've got a full house starting off tonight. As you know, I'm Fish. With me, I have Mr. Positivity, Cody Bowden. Hey, who greets with smoked Skoleful Shack. Our Captain Keith is in the background doing his Keith stuff, getting us kicked off. He'll be joining us shortly. Welcome to the 28th offseason show of the year. We're going to be here every week during the offseason, getting through this abyss together. Tonight, we are 46 days away from the Vikings opening game. Can you feel it? Can you just feel it? Bears almost to J-Mac. All the money's on purple. Yahoo Sports and ESPN both showed some love to our team and young QB. Training camp is here, baby. Who are you interested in seeing, and who has the most on the line, and what are the key battles to watch? Cody's going to call it. We're going to take a look at and grade our projected offensive line. We've got some Around the Gjallarhorn questions and hot takes. And at the end of it all, we're going to give you all a chance to come on the show and speak your thoughts. Keith said it's going to be a short show this week, so if you know anything, buckle up. It's going to be a 3-hour ride. But before we jump into that, let's break this ice. Fellas, how would you try to convince somebody that this is the year to jump on the Vikings bandwagon? What would you tell them, and how would you sell it?
I'll say, basically, this is the first time in a while that the Vikings have a rookie, well, I can't say rookie, a new franchise quarterback with an actual offensive-minded head coach who has Super Bowl experience and been around creative minds to guide this offense. I'll say that the fact that what he did with Kirk Cousins, Josh Dobbs, even freaking not Sean Hill, Jaron Hall, is just like, if he could do that with those quarterbacks, imagine what he could do with J.J. McCarthy, Addison, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, and Jordan Mason. This might be considered one of the best offenses heading into preseason that we've seen in a long, long time. Better hop on while you can, because the bandwagon is going to be full by the end of the year.
I think bandwagon is going to be full by the bye week. What do you think, Cody?
Convince someone. If you've been a Vikings fan for a while, every single year around this time, it's the same kind of hopes and dreams of us trying to go to the Super Bowl. Every year we're hyped up about it, even if we do have 7 wins, something happens with the Vikings that it on that bandwagon, right? So all I say is, we've been here before. Just stay in it. Don't be hopping off this bandwagon, because if you weren't here when we were 2-12, don't be here when we're 13, 14 games in wins in the season, ready to move on to a Super Bowl.
Well, way to blow the Mr. Positivity, Cody, out of the water. Let me bring this back up here for a second. I'm gonna piggyback off what Shaq said. This year, for the first time in the Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah tenure, the only question we have is quarterback. We've got a stacked roster from side to side. We have one of the best rosters in the NFL. And the only question people can throw at us is, what about our quarterback? And if there's one thing, like Shaq said, that KOC has proven that he can do in his tenure with the Vikings, is get everything out of his quarterback. Get everything that quarterback didn't even know he had. And, okay, he hasn't taken a snap. Does one everywhere he's been. Why should it change now? Won a national championship. Beat some really good teams. And, yes, he beat Alabama. He was called on to beat them in that game, and he did it. Not poking fun specifically at Robbie. Just saying.
I was thinking it.
I know. The guy was called upon to win that damn game, and it was an important game. And what did he do? He did it. He's got all the tools. He's showing all the right mental character. He's saying all the right things. He's looking good in practice. He's got some things to work on. Name me one quarterback who doesn't have something they got to work on. Even the great Patrick Mahomes has something he's got to work on. Okay? And he's got the right coach. We are set. It would be a monumental failure for us to not have a highly successful season this year.
Well, what is a highly successful season? Is it?
I knew that question was coming, Cody. It's a trip to at least the NFC Championship game.
Well, damn. Then it's not resting all on the quarterback. It's KOC, maybe.
Well, what did I just say? The only question anybody's been able to bring up is, what are we going to get from J.J. McCarthy? Because he hasn't taken a snap. He's his second year that was injured. I'm saying that he's a proven at every level he's played at quarterback, and he happens to have a coach who's just killed it. I mean, come on. Sam Darnold was universally and renownedly known by everybody but Shaq as having been a bust in his NFL career until last year. And KOC got that man paid.
But KOC still can't get out of the first round.
Hasn't gone out of the first round. Not can't get out of the first round.
Yeah.
And those years were years that we weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs, that we overachieved. Like, we were still rebuilding. And that's why it's time to jump on this bandwagon, because the rebuild's over. We are built. We don't have a weakness on this team. J.J. McCarthy is not a weakness. KOC is not a weakness. Our cornerbacks are not a weakness. Michael Fish, you mentioned that. I think you forgot we did get Isaiah Rodgers. So we are set. Our starting cornerbacks are good. We don't have a lot of depth at cornerback, but all of our starters from A to Z are freaking solid. The vibe around this team is great. The vibe around the fans is great. Like, this is why it's a great time to be a Vikings fan. And if you don't have a team right now and you're just a casual watcher and you're like trying to find a team to latch onto, this is a great time to become a Minnesota Viking, because you could be a part of that first Super Bowl run that we've ever had in our team's franchise history. And yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm pumped. I can't believe we're only 46 days away from the first game. Part of me is like super ready, and part of me is like, damn, it's already here. Fuck, is everything ready? Am I ready? I don't know, man. It's a good time to be a Vikings fan. And with J.J. McCarthy, that makes it that much sweeter, because outside of like maybe 7 teams, I think all other teams' fan bases are a little bit jealous of what we got going with J.J. McCarthy and the buzz and the hype and, just the way he looks. And man, I kind of wish we had that going for our team right now. Like, there's at least 20 teams, that are saying that right now. So it's a good time to be a Viking.
It's definitely going to be exciting.
Skol to that.
Yeah, I wish we had him at USC.
I mean, maybe, but that's not saying much, because the Vikings are one of the top 10 teams in the NFL right now as far as roster and coach. So I mean, I
That's
don't know if
kinda
you're trying to
hard
put
to
down the
say.
Vikings there, T-Bass.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because I don't think Michigan had a elite receivers. They had a good elite run game, and they had a okay decent offensive line. But it's like, if he kept it simple, which Jim Harbaugh did, you know, it won games. I will say the Vikings have more weapons for us to explore J.J. McCarthy's talent. He doesn't always have to throw to a tight end or two. He can throw to the receivers who actually know how to run routes. And then
Mhm.
a running back who could catch out the backfield.
I don't know about the T-Bass. T-Bass, I get what you're saying, and yeah, because I mean that's the ultimate goal. But I enjoy every Viking season and watching every game, and I'm proud to be a Viking fan every year, even through the pain. So I mean, I don't totally agree with what you're saying, but I get what you're saying.
Yes, we're all sick of picking in the 20s, T-Bass. I guarantee it. We're sick of seeing that movie over and over and over again. We're sick of seeing choking in the conference championship game. We're sick of seeing that. It's one of these years it has to break. We have to move on from the hump of getting to that Super Bowl.
I will say some of us do.
Well, right now he's going to be with 53 players that were drafted to the NFL, T-Bass, or 52 because he's one of them. So that would be more than 29.
Well, aren't we going to have like 16 undrafted free agents, maybe?
16, no.
According to our 53-man initial roster.
There was like 4, Cody. What's up, Tommy? Skol.
I mean, just because they get drafted don't mean they're pro caliber.
Yeah,
I mean, JJ McCarthy probably got a couple of them drafted, to be honest. So, as we said, we are 46 days away, and we like to look at the players who wore that number. And boy, do we have a list for number 46.
All right, next segment.
The best player on here is probably a long snapper.
That's honestly the only 46 I remember.
Well, the most longevity.
Urso Maccabee, never heard that guy's name brought up before, but he was actually a decent cornerback for a few years. I have to go and do some research on some of these guys. Played 5 years with the Vikings. He was a starting cornerback. Had 15 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns, and he played in a Super Bowl. Great career. Short, but great.
Already better than half the cornerbacks I've seen.
Right?
Tell you what, bring him back. He got a kid coming out of college or a grandkid?
Maccabee Jr.?
Maccabee Jr., that sounds like a cornerback. And then, so Reichard, he switched here to number 16, but he started out as number 46, and we didn't have anybody else to talk about, so I still put him on here, and I figured, why not talk about him just a little bit? Last year was his rookie season, 24-30 on field goals. He was 5 of 5 from 20 to 29, 6 of 7 from 30 to 39, 5 of 7 from 40 to 49, 8 of 11 from 50 plus for the long of 58 yards. I think there was definitely some up and downs during that rookie season. What I liked, perfect from extra point. We've had some problems with that in the past few years, so it was nice to be able to, have a bathroom break during the extra points after, the first couple of weeks. Like, all right, we got this. I feel we were all pretty excited after we drafted this guy, as excited as you could be for drafting a kicker. Do you guys feel he lived up to what our expectations were, or was there a little bit of a letdown?
He hasn't lived up to a single expectation yet. The only expectation that he has to live up to is kicking a game-winning field goal in the National Football Conference Championship game. That's it. That is it. I don't care if he misses every single field goal. I don't care if he misses every single field goal next year. He better makes that fucking conference championship field goal.
He hasn't made one all year.
Yeah, they give me that one.
Oh, game's on the line to go to the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and give this a try from 56.
Yeah. Let me hear that.
I mean, what's your confidence level in him, Cody, going into this season?
It's a 10. I mean, I think Will Reichard is probably one of the best kickers we had since early years of Bill Walsh, in my opinion. Every year we pull out Greg Joseph, and we were kind of like, God dang it, you know. And like I remember going to the Lions Vikings game, and I didn't even watch the final kick. I turned around and like, he's going to miss it. I don't want to watch it. So I'm pretty confident in Will Reichard. I think he's better than what we've had since the younger years of Bill Walsh or not Bill Walsh,
Blair.
Walsh. Yeah, Blair Walsh. My bad. I'm thinking music here. Yeah, Blair Walsh, and I'd rather have Will Reichard confident level 10.
Nice.
Yeah, let me just say this. Prior to the injury he had last year, he was a stone cold assassin.
Yeah.
Once he got injured, things fell off where he got real hit miss. You know, and maybe under the Zimmer regime, we might have given up on him, kicked him to the side off of that, and then we'd have watched him go play for another team and become an all-pro.
That's never happened.
I think he's going to be our secret weapon this year. People are going to see this, and you know, if you Shaq, if you don't watch the games, right, all you see is the stats, and you say, oh, he was all right. I mean, good on extra points, but he was okay everywhere else. You won't remember that he was great until he got hurt, and then he wasn't great. So make those adjustments, come back this year. He's going to be a monster.
And wasn't there a storyline that he was they were overusing him in practices basically, and that's what caused the injury?
I don't want to hear that. Like overused in practice, like just, you know, kicking a ball. I mean, I know he had the injury before.
Yeah.
Fred Cox was the most reliable. The most reliable at what?
We were overusing Justin Jefferson today.
We'll get to that, but another thing I don't want to hear that.
So I will say, the reason why I feel like he didn't really live up to my expectations was I kind of said this last year before the season started. If he's gonna be that kicker, I wanted him to at least, you know, break Blair Walsh's record with us. And then he didn't make it halfway through the season. Granted, yeah, he got injured, and we don't know the exact timeline he got injured. But I really had those expectations that he would break Blair Walsh's record and, you know, be the next all-pro kicker in the rookie season. But I don't have that. That's not going to discourage me from believing in him still, because I still believe he could be, you know, the next Justin Tucker, who's automatic.
I would love that. Just stay away from the massage parlors. Fred Cox was not the most reliable. I mean, maybe in the 70s, I guess, but the dude was like 60%.
Made hell of a football though.
Yeah, hell of a Nerf football. Tommy's not gonna. Tommy holds on to something. He don't let it go. All right. So that's our number 46. Overusing a kicker. T-Bass, you might be a little bit behind. Blink twice when you see this. Like I can see him.
I mean, he did come in with prior injuries too, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was like a year or two before.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like the last season he played. He just had that injury before.
For a guy that's not running around on the field constantly, and you just blasting kicks. I don't know how many kicks you're doing over the practice.
Probably the usual amount.
It's a kicker. Yeah. Give him a cigarette and a beer, and just have him kick a couple field goals of practice, and have him sit down. You know, like the replacements dude or something.
That's why Fred Cox was 60%.
Fred Cox smelled the Super Bowl also.
Yeah.
Didn't win it though, so it doesn't matter, right? Just, you know, T-Bass been saying, doesn't matter.
Just make the NFC Championship game field goal.
So the Bears almost drafted JJ McCarthy. Do you believe that at all? That's a rumor that came out this week.
Almost.
I believe it.
10% is almost right. On a scale, almost. You know, if it's 10%, that's still almost drafted, huh?
I mean, I'm sure that Washington has something saying that they almost drafted Jaden Daniels too. But the fact of the matter is that he was in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ryan Poles is quoted as saying that people don't realize how close they were to taking JJ McCarthy. So I think maybe a little more than just in the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with it is, though, it's kind of like telling another woman, you're almost my wife while you're married. So it's kind of like, how does that affect, it kind of feels like, even though we had the story with Caleb Williams' dad saying he didn't want him to go to Chicago, it's kind of building like a nasty, toxic relationship.
Hey, right. I mean, Nate Poles is firing back at Caleb Williams for, that story earlier, and now there's trouble in paradise.
Love to hear it.
How do you think the Vikings would have approached the draft had the Bears not have taken Caleb Williams? Do you think they would have tried to trade up for that number 1 spot? Or do you think Washington would have traded up for that number 1 spot and we would have went for like Jaden Daniels?
I honestly think we would probably got Bo Nix.
Yeah, we would have went with.
Shut your dirty mouth.
I'm sorry, but
how would we have gone with Bo Nix? Because
if
Drake
McCarthy
May would have been there.
Yeah, so if JJ McCarthy went first, I think it would have been a trickle down effect of Caleb Williams to the Washington, Jaden Daniels would have went to the Patriots, or Drake May, either or, whoever they like more. And then I think the Giants would have took a quarterback.
So the Giants wouldn't have taken Neighbors because the Bears didn't take Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
There's better quarterback options on the board. If you don't feel confident in the quarterback that's on the board, you go with the best player available. But if you like the quarterback, you're going to take the quarterback over the best player available.
Gregory. I get where you're kind of coming from, but I still don't see. I think they were dead set on Neighbors. Yeah, I don't think we would go with Nix. It might have been Penix, though. I'm still not sold on Penix.
Yeah. I like it because it validates the talk about JJ McCarthy during the offseason for the draft that there's a possibility he could go number 1. And I think this story that came out, that's what the talk was all about. I think Pohl said something to somebody, and a writer came out there and posted it like, hey, JJ McCarthy, number 1 pick in the draft could be. And it's just finally good to see validity after betting online sports and how he's like, we saw Will Levis could be the number 1 pick one year because someone said something, someone got a hold of it. It's nice.
Lenny Skol. Would either you two, I'm not asking Shaq, I'm asking Cody and Fish, would you trade JJ McCarthy for Caleb Williams right now?
100%.
You would?
100% I would. And I love JJ McCarthy. I think he's the quarterback with the biggest surprise factor. Like, we don't know what we're going to get out of JJ McCarthy. Even when he entered last year, if he was going to be the starter, we didn't know. Caleb Williams, he has a really, really high ceiling. The guy threw only 7 interceptions to 30-plus touchdowns last year. So it's like, I would, 100% take Caleb Williams. And he did all that on a shitty offensive line for the Bears.
That's why we married, Cody. That's why we married.
You pointed the wrong way.
Yeah, I'd have taken Caleb too. I mean,
no, but right now, would you trade JJ McCarthy for Caleb Williams if we could swap right now with everything we know?
Yes. 100%.
Damn, I'm the only one that wouldn't.
Look, man, I'm not a Vikings coach or member of their front office. I don't have to say JJ's my guy because we drafted.
I know you don't have to say that, and you've never been the one to say that about any player.
I would take Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels over JJ McCarthy. I have fallen off of taking Penix over him. I would not take Penix over him, but those two guys I would take over him.
Yeah.
But I am happy with the fact that at pick number 10, we got JJ McCarthy. I couldn't be more ecstatic.
But you'd flip him for Caleb in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Mark. What we know now, if Caleb Williams had a disaster rookie year, I would say no. But he didn't have a disaster rookie year. He had a legit rookie season.
No, he did. I think JJ will have a better one. I don't know, man. Like a lot of the reasons you guys didn't want Aaron Rodgers was because not his play on the field, but about how he is in the locker room.
I wanted Aaron Rodgers.
I wanted Aaron Rodgers.
No, you guys didn't.
Yes, we did.
I was gonna say that, Lenny. He was the most sacked quarterback due to his own, but I was gonna let that slide because he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on a terrible Bears offensive line also.
But still, most sacked due to his own.
They have
like
four new starters on that offensive line this year. They hammered it just like we did.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold held the ball too long too, I guess. He did also.
All right, well, let's get into some Vikings love because there's actually been a lot of Vikings love this week, which is kind of surprising since we don't seem to get that a lot, but it's also kind of scary because we don't get that a lot and just don't know what to do with it when people start believing in us. But a lot of people have been critical of the positive Viking fans, saying, oh, you're just drinking too much purple Kool-Aid, you're a homer, but maybe there's some more to it because Vikings have flipped Vegas. The Vikings are currently the most heavily wagered team to make the playoffs in 2025. The initial odds for the Vikings to make the playoffs opened at plus 130. It has now swung to minus 115.
Nice.
So the Vikings have had a good offseason, but they have an unproven quarterback, right? Why are people putting their money on the Vikings?
Because of everything that I said earlier. They had a good offseason. They addressed every need that they had almost. They improved in the trenches. The only real question is the quarterback. And if we had almost any other head coach, I could think of maybe 3 other head coaches that you wouldn't worry about this. We've got a guy where if the problem is the quarterback, I ain't that worried. He can cover up a lot of issues on the quarterback. So he's going to get all the juice out with that squeeze, all of it.
And coming off a 14-game win season with Sam Darnold as your quarterback, you got to think J.J. McCarthy's better than Sam Darnold. I like it. I do believe that it should have been at that minus 115 to make the postseason. But I can guarantee our Super Bowl odds didn't go up. You know, it's about escaping that first round of the playoffs. We are making the playoffs. That should be the expectation. That should be the bottom line of us is getting to.
But their win total is projected at 8, and that's usually not for the playoffs.
8.5 or 8.
Yeah, that's not a playoffs.
Well,
8 and 9 doesn't make the playoffs.
You'll see that win total go up now that's went up.
And then you'll see the Super Bowl odds get better too, or worse, however you want to look at it.
Now people got to bet on the Vikings win Super Bowl for those odds to go up.
I'm just not a big fan of Vegas backing us because I feel like this gives them the ammo to say, see, look at them. They didn't even win as many games. They choke every time. Every time somebody believes in them. So I'd rather them doubt us than to give us the praise because, you know, it's kind of fake love. I don't believe they actually love us. I think they just want to say it because they wanted something new to talk about.
Well, Vegas doesn't believe in us. It's the people taking betting against Vegas that are believing in us. People are putting their money on the Vikings. Oh, you think they're only going to win 8 games and not make the playoffs? Let me put some money on that because I think they are going to make the playoffs.
And I think this has a lot to do with the reports coming out. Vikings got top defensive 7 in the league, have a top 5 offensive line. So people are hearing those stories and are like, oh, yeah, this looks like an easy money bet. I'm going to win some money this year.
I think it's about damn time. Unlike Shaq, I hate the disrespect. I hate that shit. When we're winning and everybody's just waiting for us to fall off the cliff, I hate that shit. Give us our flowers in time as we're earning our flowers. If we're winning, treat us like we're contenders, by God. If we beat a good team, don't say, yeah, but we beat a good team. So, I mean, that stuff manifests itself. if there's enough energy in the universe about us waiting for us to fall off a cliff, we're going to fall off the damn cliff. But the thing is yeah, tell us we're good if we're good.
Yeah, I just think that means a lot of football fans, or at least a lot of gamblers, believe in the Vikings more than Vegas did when they had us at 8 wins, because 8 wins isn't a playoff team, and people are like, yeah, I'm not buying that. You even got some of our own fans that are saying we're going to win less than 8 games. Crazy.
Give us just a little bit of that delusional energy that the Lions fans are walking into this season with. Just a little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a great step to take this year, Gregory. I think that's kind of the theme. Just win a damn playoff game, and I think KOC absolutely has to. Just gave him that extension. They built up the team. They went and fixed the line like he complained about at the end of that Rams game. They've given KOC everything that he has asked for. If that doesn't result in a playoff win, I don't know. I don't want to say he'll be put on the hot seat, but the seat will get at least lukewarm. Yeah, T-Bass, that's fair. I mean, I hope for a Super Bowl win, but I'm expecting a playoff win. And to me, a playoff win this year would be a successful season. Would I be super happy about it? Not really, but I think it would be a successful season if we were to win a playoff game this year. I feel like we should be able to do more because we kind of did put all of our chips on the table. Like,
as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say, Keith, that we should expect 2 playoff wins for the first time since
1987.
Oh, 1987.
Yeah.
I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, me too. Quite the interesting little fact, huh?
Yeah. I was 5 years old the last time the Vikings won 2 playoff games in a season.
Well, to be fair, if the 2009 Vikings went to the wild card, we could have won 2 playoff games.
Maybe. Have you seen this team's luck? Have you seen this team's luck in the playoffs? How things happen?
All I'm saying is if we don't have a bye, we're not in the NFC Championship game since 1987. Let's change that. Or let's get the bye and win 2 games and be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. When I first heard that, I couldn't believe it, but then I started doing the math. I was like, oh, man. Yeah, we have never experienced 2 playoff wins. Like, what's that feel like? Like, I know we've gotten the bye a few times. And, that's like a pseudo playoff win, but it's not. The joy of winning a playoff game, the way you feel after winning a playoff game, it feels different. And we haven't got to experience that twice. If we had, we'd at least have been in 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah. I want those 2 playoff wins to come with a Super Bowl victory, not just a birth of the Super Bowl. I need to see a victory.
And at this point, I just want to see my team in the Super Bowl.
Because that's going to hit different with the 0-5 moniker.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm tired of hearing 0-4, so I mean, at least give me something new. Some more love came from Yahoo Sports, where they've been doing their offseason power rankings, and they've been doing a team a day, starting with number 32. Within our division, they had the Bears at 15 in their power rankings. They had the Packers at 7. They haven't got to the Lions yet because the last team they did was yesterday. The Minnesota Vikings, number 6. That's some love. I mean, would you really argue that? I mean, I don't know who the 1 through 5 is because I didn't go through all 32 teams, but we could probably see it right here and guess who they are and not be too offended that the Vikings are getting number 6.
I'm offended. If
Why
the
is that?
Chiefs is higher than us without the refs, you seen the Super Bowl? We could have did better than that.
I'm sorry. Can't be offended that the Chiefs are ahead of us. I'm gonna bet the Chiefs are still number 1. Most of the power rankings I've seen have the Chiefs number 1 still.
How much cap space we got left?
What's that?
18.5 million.
Yeah,
How much you think the refs cost?
probably less than that.
1 year deal. Sign the rest
Just
of
so-
1 year. Oh.
Here's some of the quotes that they wrote in that power rankings. A team that went 14-3 a season ago without a bad loss, then had a very good offseason, is expected by odds makers to be 500. Everyone must think Sam Darnold, who moved on from the Vikings, is a no doubt superstar who can't be replaced, right? No, in fact, nobody is saying that this offseason. If you believe Darnold is below average and also believe the Vikings are going to come crashing back to mediocrity, you must really, really dislike JJ McCarthy. There's no great reason for that either. Minnesota has a ceiling of winning the NFL's toughest division and being the NFL's number 1 seed. The Vikings should get a lot more respect. That's why we're pretty high on them in these rankings. What they did last season was not fluky. The same people believing the Vikings will fall way back are also skeptical of Sam Darnold in Seattle. It's hard to reconcile that. Assuming JJ McCarthy won't be good is strange too. He's not some 5th-round pick. A smart Vikings front office liked him enough to trade up and draft him number 10 overall. They also love what the Vikings did in the offseason, giving them an A- grade in free agency, where they only gave 3 A's. So how you feeling about this love from Yahoo?
I don't like it. It makes me feel all funny.
I'm telling you. It feels
Makes my Agent Orange act up. I mean, I hate power rankings, guys. I really do. But I'm not going to lie. It kind of makes me feel good to get some off-season love.
I get what you're saying about not liking the power rankings, but to me, it kind of gives me a perspective of how non-fans view our team. I mean, I don't think it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything, but it's a perspective from somebody who's not a Vikings fan.
I guess I hate power rankings because, you have a team that loses 2 straight and they're still in the top 10 and they're ranked higher than a team that just beat them that has fewer losses than them. And
When that happened?
Yeah. A few years ago, like Green Bay lost 3 or 4 straight. They were 500 and still in the top 10.
Oh, I thought you were talking about last year, because I think after we beat the Niners, they were still ahead of us.
They were.
Yeah. I mean, just go ahead and take your pick. It happens too often where you have, I just don't like them. But, I mean, it does feel nice to get, like I said, give us our flowers while we deserve them. Hey, if we start the season out 0-3, I don't expect us to be in the top half of the league, right? But I'm just saying, give us our flowers while we deserve them. And right now, everything looks good. Everything looks good. So, yeah, tell the world that everything looks good. Kirk Cousins is not our quarterback anymore. You don't have to hold back on liking the Vikings.
Cody, what do you think about, the major theme there being that this team succeeded with Sam Darnold, and it's kind of weird that people are expecting them not to with JJ McCarthy?
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, Sam Darnold, the only reason we got rid of Sam Darnold is because we knew how far he would take us, and that far was a playoff game and a loss. We don't know how far JJ McCarthy is going to take us. Ride the hype with JJ McCarthy, and let them ride the hype with JJ McCarthy, because next year, if he doesn't take us to the playoffs or we lose that first playoff game, the piece will be completely different. They'll say, oh, this is the JJ McCarthy. That's the ceiling on such a great overall roster team. It's just a playoff loss, So I think the people who are saying, well, you got rid of Sam Darnold, that was a dumb move. No, it's not a dumb move. We knew what we had with Sam Darnold. That's a first-round exit out of the playoffs. We don't know what we have with JJ McCarthy, and we can't wait to see what we have with the guy. So I think it's just dumb with that narrative.
I agree. Shaq, how you feel about the love we're getting from Yahoo Sports?
Like I was previously stating earlier, it's just like I don't want to give them the gall to basically say we believe in y'all during the off season, and then let's say we go 9-8 or 8-10, and then they say, well, that's why we don't always like the Vikings, because they always find a way to choke when it matters. But Fish kind of brought me onto the other side. It kind of feels good to have, people at least look at us like a team that's a legit contender versus just another team in the NFL. Because not many teams in the NFL actually have that admiration to, try to go to the playoffs and Super Bowl every year. Some teams actually look at, like a 3 to 5 year plan versus, we actually have a chance to compete right now or within the next 2-3 years.
Yep. And Tommy, I disagree with you. If they believed that Sam Darnold was a Super Bowl quarterback, they would have stuck with him. They knew what he was those last 2 games. He was a product of KOC, and KOC's like, I can do that with JJ McCarthy and probably get more because they know about JJ McCarthy too. You don't know, but they do.
Yeah, KOC, this is how far I can get you. I need someone else to get me further into the playoffs. That's how I feel like he's looking at JJ McCarthy.
If you guys want to believe it, if you remember about this time, what was it, about mid-August? They were talking before the injury happened about how JJ was already pressing Sam Darnold for snaps with the first team. He was already.
JJ might have won it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he might have won a starting job.
Like, I have no doubt about that. And yes, T-Bass, they are $60 million over the cap next year, but that's because they got a lot of contracts that aren't guaranteed next year. So that's kind of why I say, like, this year the chips are all on the table, because the players that we signed this offseason, a lot of them are only here for this season.
Mm-hmm.
And JJ, wasn't really handed the job. They did try to keep some quarterbacks around. I mean, I do believe they did make Darnold some kind of offer to keep him around for 1 year. They just didn't give him the 3-year, $90 million, whatever he got offered. So, of course, he went and took the money. They also tried to keep Daniel Jones, and they offered him $15 million, which would have been some kind of competition. So it's not like they didn't try. Like who else would they go out? Like, do you want them to spend $30 million on Sam Darnold just to be competition for JJ McCarthy? I don't think so.
When we can get Sam Darnold next year when he comes off that contract for a backup role.
Yeah, he'll be our backup next year.
Full circle.
I don't know. It feels good to me to see. Like, I don't like Anthony said earlier, I like to be under the radar, but it does feel good to see other people giving us love and showing us some respect. And because we deal with a lot of Viking fans, and we only hear, what Viking fans have to say. So it's nice to see some other perspective and it actually being positive and not just hating on us.
Gives you hope.
It doesn't give me hope because I already have hope. I don't need any more hope. I feel really good about this team and this season. I just like to see that, other people feel that way too, even though they aren't Viking fans. Even more love out there, especially for our boy JJ on this one. ESPN projected where quarterbacks will finish this season. And I just want to go through a few of these ones that are notable. Out of 32 quarterbacks, the number 26 quarterback will be Sam Darnold. 24, Bo Nix. 20, Michael Penix Jr. Coming in at 19, Caleb Williams. Number 15, Jordan Love. 12, Justin Herbert. 11, CJ Stroud. 10, Jared Goff. 9, JJ McCarthy.
Ooh, brother, we keep this up and we might have a golden child on our hands. All he got to do is complete a few passes.
First pass completion, Super Bowl.
Now, I will put it out there that this wasn't just like ranking, okay, this is going to be the top 32 quarterbacks based on their merit alone. Like, it did give credit to the situation that JJ McCarthy's in, calling it the best situation that a first-year starting quarterback's been in since Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, which that's a great comparison. Well, yeah, you shouldn't lose no sleep over it, T-Bass, at all.
Now
it's just entertainment. We're just entertainment. You shouldn't lose no sleep over everything we say either.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you how to feel. We might say you're dumb for how you feel, but we're still going to respect it. But we're going to say, but we're going to respect. It all depends on how much Cody's been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for ESPN to project that, JJ McCarthy is going to finish as a top 10 quarterback, that feels good too, man. It does. Because normally sites like ESPN and Yahoo right now would be trashing us, and they'd be talking about how bad the Vikings are going to do with an unproven quarterback and what a waste of a season it's going to be. And they're not saying that.
I mean, Gregory, Little Hand Culpepper, we did get to an NFC championship game with him, didn't we? Hey, Shaq, so let me ask you a question about that. Because there was that talk about Kirk Cousins being like, a top 10 quarterback and all that type of stuff where they thought really he could do very well. Does it feel a little different to hear J.J. McCarthy could be a top 10 quarterback versus hearing that Kirk Cousins could be a top 10 quarterback? Do you feel like there might be – I figure as somebody who loved Cousins as much as you did, you'd be the right person to answer this question.
So I'll say this. It's basically showing us and the media that as long as you have a decent to good quarterback, you could get him into that top 10 range because it's not that many quarterbacks who could be, the top 5 who's constantly consistent. Once you get to like 6 to 10 or 6 to 15, those quarterbacks kind of flow around. So I say for like our offense, we usually have a quarterback in the top 15 range, whether it be, Sam Darnold, who was considered to be a bottom tier quarterback, who was playing like a top 15, top 10 quarterback last year. Kirk Cousins, who always been considered, top 15, but really showed that he was a top 10 quarterback when he came to Minnesota because we built the right atmosphere for a quarterback to succeed. And it just went over the moon when we hired KOC because he kind of brought that out from the quarterback even more by building an elite offense and knowing how to get weapons open. So all the quarterback has to do is throw the ball to an area. And he knows when the quarterback is kind of feeling flustered. And he goes and talks to the quarterback and see like kind of what do we need to do to help you become a better version of yourself. So if you're constantly doing that, you'll always have at least a good connection with a solid quarterback, and you can make him a top 10, top 15 quarterback. We just hoping, without KOC, if JJ McCarthy could be, a top 10 quarterback, and then you add KOC on top of it, maybe he could become a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. That's my
Wouldn't
takeaway.
that be something?
Could be great. Let's see. Mahomes, Lamar, Hurts, Burrow, and Daniels, it says the top 6. You're probably right. Won't argue with you there, Tommy, as those probably be in the top 6. How many touchdowns for Mason this year? Man, as much as I want to say like 12, 13 touchdowns, I'm going to stick to 8 to 10 probably.
Nah, I got a hot take on that shit. Nah, he going to have
and I did want to take into consideration yours and Cody's hot takes, but I'm going to say 8 to 10 touchdowns, leaning more towards 10. Because I think he's going to get some of those goal line touchdowns, but it is still a shared backfield.
Mm-hmm.
If Aaron Jones goes down, obviously that changes things, and I'm not hoping for that at all. I hope both play 17 games. Hope we have a good split. So it might get a little murky if you're looking for fantasy purposes. But I do think he will be the goal line back.
Nice little handcuff.
Yes, sir. Let's see. And now let's talk a little bit about training camp that opened up this week. I think the first piece of good news, Darisaw, Will Fries, and Rondale Moore not on the PUP list. All 3 will be in camp in some capacity, which is great news that they aren't just sitting out. KOC says they all have target dates that they're excited about. Didn't say what those target dates were. Fries, he's been cleared for full participation and will start individual drills and ramp up every week. So By the time the season starts, he should be 100% ready to go full speed. Darisaw said he feels great. His level of participation is unknown, but just that he's feeling great. He's going to be out there doing something, even if it's individual drills. That's great. He's on a good pace to play. Don't know if it'll be week 1 yet or not, but he might not see the PUP list to begin the season, which would be awesome, meaning that he won't have to miss the first 4 games. So we'll keep monitoring that. Rondell Moore, he was out there running routes. It still looked fast. There was a couple plays with JJ throwing in the ball where he's making good cuts and, kind of actually got me a little bit excited. So that's the good news. We did put 2 guys on the PUP list, and that was our rookie tight end, Gavin Bartholomew, and Chaz Chambliss, who was an undrafted free agent, which means they must kind of like him if they put him on the PUP list and not just cut him. Mm-hmm. So that'd be interesting to watch, too. Josh Metellus showed up, even though he doesn't have a new contract. He didn't, start anything, no drama. He does believe it'll get done, so that's good that he showed up for that. I think it was today, Justin Jefferson said he took himself out of practice because he pulled up a little bit. You got something on that, Cody?
Yeah, so he felt leg stiffness through his legs, which could be a result of many things. But the one thing that I saw out there was muscle strain or overuse of his muscles. So we'll have to monitor that going on through offseason. I would hope they'd take him out a couple of days of this training camp practice just to get him back to square one. I think he is overusing his stuff because he wants to be the number 1 receiver in the league. He wants to give the Minnesota Vikings the Super Bowl, and that's a good Kobe Black Mamba mentality to have. Just keep practicing like that. But, yeah, give him some rest. Justin Jefferson, some leg stiffness, overuse, straining of muscles.
What's up, Emerson? It was day 1 for him, though, so I don't know about the overusing, overexerting. I think it just maybe it was just a cramp. But I just don't want to hear that, man. Like, it's all their jobs to play football and getting ready for week 1. That's up to everybody. I don't care how good you are. So, I mean, I'm glad that he's out there and doing stuff. I don't want to see injuries, obviously, but honestly, if there was going to be an injury, I'd rather see it happen now than week 1. So,
what if he's holding out
right now? Huh?
What if he's holding out for a contract?
That one's over. That whole thing's over for at least another year or 2.
So it's a legit injury.
Yeah, I think we got at least another year or 2 till he starts doing something like that.
Justin Jefferson goes hard in practice, though. I just calm it down, big fella. Like, we know you're really good. You don't need to. This is practice.
I mean, he's out there setting that rapport with JJ McCarthy, though. And you practice how you play.
Mm-hmm. Play hard, but it's practice. We're talking about practice.
But it is scary when you do hear, Justin Jefferson's name attached to an injury. We've had other teams in the division, having some pretty bad luck with injuries, and we've kind of about it. And then you see this, like, okay, a little perspective here. But I do think he'll be okay. And you're right; they're probably going to hold him out for a while. He's not going to touch the field during preseason.
Yeah,
but I do still hope, at some point next week that it turns out to be nothing, and he does still get to get out there and do some reps because he's going to be major in JJ's development. I mean, they've been hanging out on and off the field, and that's going to be big come week 1. So, with that being said, I want you guys to try and predict something that we're going to hear before we go live next Thursday. What's a storyline or something that we're going to hear coming out of training camp before next Thursday?
I'll lead off.
Do it.
We're going to hear that Asante Samuel Jr. visited the facilities before we go live again next Thursday.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to sign him.
I like that one. I like that one because we do need a cornerback 3 behind Isaiah Rodgers and Murphy.
And I'm with you, man, because let me tell you something, Keith, just real quick. I'm not worried now. I'm not worried if JJ misses a little time because of leg stiffness because we've got Ty Felton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, damn. He'd be damn near wide receiver 2 at that point with Addison being out, JJ being out. We got Naylor and Felton, baby.
Handsprings and somersaults. Still that gritty. We got us a gymnast over here in the end zone.
Needs Felton and Naylor.
I mean, yeah, JJ McCarthy don't need that much.
You know,
to make him a star.
Justin Jefferson.
I think prediction that we're going to hear something about the tight end position. I think we're going to hear something between Ben Usrek, or we're going to hear Bart, or we're going to hear us bringing in a new tight end to the room to compete with that tight end 3 spot. Because I was looking back at last year, we used a tight end 3 on 430 some snaps. That's 38% of snaps we used a tight end 3 on. Right?
Yeah.
Are we going to thrust an undrafted free agent or a 6th round pick in that tight end 3 role, like without even knowing who they are, what they are? You know, at least when Johnny Monk came over, he actually had some experience, right? Coming from the Rams, right? And playing in that tight end 3 role over there. We don't have that with these undrafted free agents and 6th round pick. So I either expect something from one of those 2 guys over the next week training camp, or us bringing in another tight end to compete for that tight end 3 spot that has the experience.
I can see this one, especially if they were to bring in Asante Samuel, because that's how you get his cap number down this year.
Damn you, boy. Damn you.
Fish, you know what? I used to be on board with you. I'm not, man. I'm glad we have Brian O'Neill, and we'll get to that later.
That was about to be mine.
What was it?
I was going to say Brian O'Neill contract. There's going to be something to do with Brian O'Neill's contract during these training camps. But I choose another one. I feel like we're going to bring in newly released defensive tackle from the Raiders, Christian Wilkins, in for a tryout.
I don't think he can try out, man. I think he's got plantar fasciitis. But they can still bring him in. I still know about tryout. Yeah, apparently the Raiders didn't like how his rehab's going, and just, I don't know, maybe think he's not taking it serious, and they just don't feel that he's doing what he needs to do to get better, or at least that was their reasoning for letting him go today. So it'll be interesting to see if someone does take a chance on him. I like the idea of it, but we don't need to bring in an injured dude. We really don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't. What?
What have we done this offseason?
Okay. That's currently injured.
Yeah, that can't play.
Yeah, he'd be on the PUP list right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Davenport. Enough said right there, Angel Dust. That's enough. Like, done. For reals? Wait, the Raiders cut him and he has $57 million guaranteed.
We ain't got to pay him shit.
We don't. He was supposed to make $110 million.
They cut all those Mike Mayock picks.
That's crazy. $57 million, man. I keep him around to make him be a water boy or something at least. Yeah, the Raiders called him lazy. That's definitely, I mean, yeah. There's a lot of reasons to not want to bring him in.
And we was complaining about having Kirk Cousins under contract for 20-something million.
That was a different time. 20 million was a lot back then.
I'm pretty sure 50 million is a lot for.
Actually, he never played for 20 million. Let's get that straight. I mean,
no. Well, last
year, I want to address
28
that
might have been
Davenport. Let me address that Davenport comment, because before he went to the Raiders with Miami, he missed 2 games in his career. 5 years, he missed 2 games. He is not Marcus Davenport.
Well, now that he started his injuries, he's showing his ass.
Yeah, maybe he's showing his ass because he got paid by a shit-ass team, and he's like, wait a minute, I don't want to – well, hold on, I thought we were building something. I don't want to be part of this.
This coming from a Raiders fan right here. You know it's bad if the Raiders don't want him.
You know what he did? He showed up to training camp and he pulled the Simpson meme. He seen the quarterback Geno Smith and walk right out.
He said, "Hold on."
This is why you don't trust those mock drafters you see on the internet, and then hire one as your GM.
You come to the Vikings, that plantar fasciitis would just
disappears.
Fish, with our facilities
and our coaches and training staff.
And training staff.
I was thinking more along the lines of Percy Harvin and migraines. The migraines just disappeared when he went to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was the weather difference or something, but all of a sudden that he didn't have no damn plantar fasciitis in Miami.
I don't think plantar fasciitis lasts all season though. I wouldn't mind him for 6-7 games.
That could linger.
Let me tell you something about plantar fasciitis. All he's got to do is get the right pair of shoes and it goes away.
Hey, isn't it flat-footed?
Yeah. Now plantar fasciitis is your plantar is it's a tendon that literally wraps around your heel and goes up over the top of your foot. It's a long tendon. I have it. And all I had to do was get Asics gels and it went away.
I mean, kind of doing different stuff.
Dr. Scholes.
I mean, I see basketball players miss a whole season.
Yeah, that's just LeBron James, though.
Well, LeBron, you see LeBron's feet. He should be missing multiple seasons.
I mean, I feel like basketball players.
Boyd, I didn't know you were a foot guy.
Wait, Boyd.
I
don't want to take a wrong swerve here.
Well, Keith do got a foot website. You could support
25% OnlyFans. Feet special.
Anyways, by next Thursday, I think we're going to hear a lot of hype about Dallas Turner. I think we're going to hear about how fast he looks out there, how good he's picking up stuff. He did something to an offensive lineman, when they got the pads on. I think we're going to hear a lot of hype about Dallas Turner.
That's not Christian Darrisaw. You got to include that part.
It's not Christian Darrisaw because Christian Darrisaw won't be involved. It might be Brian O'Neill, which would be, just about as impressive.
Yeah, I can see the Brian O'Neill extension just to sign Josh Metellus.
Yeah, and Samuel?
And Asante Samuel. I still want to sign him.
I think it's a chance. So those are all good ones.
What?
So coming into camp, there's not a lot of battles for starting positions, if any. I can't really think of any. I mean, maybe at cornerback because I don't know that Brian Murphy's set, so there might be an opportunity at cornerback. But I think for the most part, our starters are set. Even the second team, for the most part, set. There's a little bit of wiggle room, especially at quarterback, but we're mostly looking at depth battles. But that's still something to pay attention to because the teams who win have the best depth. And on offense, these are the biggest ones, that we were looking at. First, you got Sam Howell versus Brett Rippon, and a wild card is Max Brosmer. I don't think Sam Howell or Brett Rippon are anything to stand in Max Brosmer's way if Max Brosmer comes in and looks good during training camp. They paid nothing for Howell. Brett Rippon's kind of just there. He's like, kind of a coach quarterback like Kirk's buddy was. We got Gavin Bartholomew against Ben Urasek. Gavin Bartholomew being on the PUP list makes this interesting. Hopefully he can come back relatively soon and give himself a fair shot. Otherwise, I think Ben Urasek just runs away with tight end 3.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Felton, Rondell Moore, who's going to be wide receiver 4 and wide receiver 3 for the first few weeks while Jordan Addison's suspended, which we haven't heard anything about yet, but it's likely to happen. Then you got these wide receivers: Silas Bolden, Tim Jones, Lucky Jackson, Thayer Thomas, Xavier Scott, Jayshon Jones. 1 or 2 of them are going to make it. It might be 2 at first because Addison being out, but one of these guys is going to make it as our wide receiver, 5 or 6? So the wide receiver battles is probably the biggest on offense. Then you got Trey Stewart versus Ty Chandler. which honestly, it might not be either of those guys. We might be picking up a running back that gets cut from another team. But it'll be interesting to see if Trey Stewart could, push Ty Chandler for that running back 3 job, because Ty Chandler hasn't done anything really to help himself, except in preseason. The 2 years of preseason, he always looks so good. Like, oh my God, we got something here. And then we get to the regular season, the guy's averaging like 2.5 yards a carry and can't block. So I do think there's opportunity for Trey Stewart to show out and maybe earn that running back 3 spot. His biggest challenge might be a free agent. Maybe the Saints let go of Cam Akers, and then he'll be in trouble. And then on the offensive line, I think the biggest battle, Walter Rouse versus Logan Brown. Walter Rouse, I do think they really like him, but Logan Brown was considered the top UDFA available, and the Vikings signed him. And, as Fish has pointed out many times, Logan Brown does suffer from diabetes, and that may be a reason teams shied away from him, because he was projected to be anywhere from a 3rd to a 5th round draft pick. And we got him as UDFA. So I do believe the Vikings will give him a fair chance at earning a roster spot. And if it happens, I think it'll be at the disposal of Walter Rouse. Which one on here intrigues you the most, Fish?
Right there. That's unfortunate, because I like both those kids. I really do. When we drafted Walter Rouse and I started to watch a little bit on him, I was like, man, I kind of like this guy. And then I saw him in preseason, and he looked pretty damn good at the tackle position. I think it was when he was playing on the right side, he looked like a professional football player. When he was playing on the left, I don't think he looked quite as good. And I got a soft spot for Logan Brown. I feel like it's one of those things where there's this tremendous amount of upside where he has the talent. He just has an illness he has to overcome. If we're going to lose one of these guys, it's going to hurt either way. And I really hope that whoever doesn't win that battle can make it onto our practice squad, because I think we're going to be needing them at some point. It might not even be this year, but it might be next year, especially if that extension talk doesn't happen. Just saying.
Fish can't get rid of Brian O'Neill fast enough.
Let's see.
What about you, Shaq? Which one of these are you interested in, or is there one that I'm missing?
I'm actually interested in the Ty Felton versus Rondale Moore thing, because they both receivers, but I'm kind of hoping one of them or both of them at least battle for special team return, along with I'm pretty sure it'll probably be just Shown, how you pronounce his name, Deshaun Jones, or Silas Bowden. One of those 4 people, receivers, will have to be a good kick returner, punt returner, and then, do like special gadgety things to keep a roster spot, because it's certain things you're not going to want Justin Jefferson or Addison to do, because you need them.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting one. I want to put my money on Ty Felton just because of Fish, but I don't know, man. Rondale Moore, like Cody said, he's a gadgety player, and he could do things that a lot of receivers can't do, and especially he's a player that we haven't really had on this team since Percy Harvin. Now, I'm not going to come out here and expect him to be Percy Harvin, but he can kind of do some of those things. Which one are you looking at, Cody?
I'm looking at the Ty Felton one too, because honestly, we still need a slot receiver, and that's what he projects as, is that Z receiver spot. Because you got to think, you got Addison and Jefferson, they're going to be motioning into that slot, but we would like to keep them sometimes on the X and the Y, the boundary receivers, right? And then we can enter Jalen Naylor into the fold as an X receiver and motion either Addison into that slot. And we're going to be missing Addison a lot for 3 games, right? So who are you going to need to replace that guy in that slot or to motion him in that slot? You're going to need Ty Felton. And for Rondale Moore, we've seen with Powell last year, he's 5'8", Rondale Moore's 5'7". KOC loves his gadget receivers, those screens, those jet sweeps with those type of receivers. And I can see Rondale Moore being part of that. So for whoever is going to get the most snaps, I'm more focused on that at this point for that wide receiver 4, if you're looking at in a depth chart position like that. But Ty Felton is going to see a lot of playing time and on this team, especially in that slot position.
All right, I like it. And Delton Vincent, he's really big on Rondale Moore, and he was saying he's going to burn defenses for 70. Bro, he hasn't gone for 70 since 2001, and his most since then has been a 48-yard play. Like, I get it. He's fast, he's quick, and he burnt the Vikings twice. So maybe that's where that's coming from. But I think you might want to temper the expectations for Rondale Moore just a little bit. I do think he can come and add a depth to this offense, but I think you said wide receiver 2 for him, Delton. Come on,
that'd be an X or a Y. That'd be a boundary wide receiver. He's 5'7". Homie's not a boundary wide receiver. I'm sorry.
But I will say this, for a team to have a Super Bowl run, you kind of need to have like a couple of players come in that just live up to their potential, kind of out of nowhere, right? And that's the perfect opportunity right there. Is Moore's been injury prone. He's never really had a full season where he's lived up to his potential. And if you can get him in here and he's starting out healthy, which is a good sign, and he just lives up to that potential, it's just a couple of those guys that can push a really good team over the top and make them really, really dangerous.
Definitely. I'm interested in Trey Stewart versus Ty Chandler. I don't know if Trey Stewart can make this roster, but it'd be cool if he did. And I think running back 3 is somewhat important, especially because I believe a lot in Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, but they both have a little bit of an injury history. And just playing running back, that's the nature of the position. And how big was Cam Akers for us as a running back 3? He ended up, surpassing Ty Chandler, becoming the running back 2. But even as a 3, he would come in and make key plays for us. So it'd be nice to have a third running back that's good. And I don't trust Ty Chandler to be that guy. It'd be great, man, if we could get this guy with Jacksonville State or whatever. He could come in and be that guy. And, he reminded me a lot of what was that running back? Brashard Smith. Like, his highlights reminded me of him just against lesser talent. So I want to see if Trey Stewart can come in and make this 53-man, and that's the battle that I'll be most intently watching, but definitely interested to see what goes on with the rest of these guys. The quarterback one, I don't know that it's that interesting. Like, I think most of us are like kind of hoping like they end up bringing someone else in. I was like, damn, Phillip Rivers just retired a couple days ago. Like, was he an option? What's up, Tanya? Delton, are you really he's calling Rondale Moore Steve Smith?
Yeah, because Steve Smith was 5'9". He thinks
that's not even close, man.
Oh, close, yeah.
I love the optimism, bro, but come on.
Just give me one season with him being 75% of Steve Smith, and we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's not a knock on Rondale Moore being.
No, it's not.
Don't think about it as wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4. Delton, think about it as where they're at lining up on the field, or the X, the Y, the Z, or the gadget spot. He's not going to get, what JJ or Addison gets in snaps, but he's going to get snaps at the end of the day, and those snaps when he's on the field are going to count because more than likely the ball's probably going to go to him.
All right, I'll just be happy if he's the guy that he was in Arizona. I think there's potential for him to break out a little more than he did there. Maybe get a few more opportunities. I think it was like Cody said, play that Brandon Powell role, but do it better. So I think you have opportunities to make big plays for us. Key first downs, stretch the field a little bit. But yeah, he's not going to be playing every down or anything near that. Like, it's going to be picking spots with him, and he's a weapon, and I like it.
A true weapon that we haven't had in that kind of like situation in a long time.
So for our defensive camp battles, we got Gabriel Murphy versus Bo Richter, trying to fight for that 4th edge spot behind Dallas Turner. Wild cards for that, we got Tyler Batty and Chaz Chambliss, who were UDFAs this year. Tyler Batty's an interesting one because, like Logan Brown, he was one of the most sought after UDFAs. Feels weird saying that, but that's what it is. He's a little bit older though. Chaz Chambliss, the only reason I think he might have a chance is because they did put him on the PUP list, so they're kind of saving him. They must see something there. But I don't know if we're going to have room to keep both Gabriel Murphy and Bo Richter on the 53, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get after it. I think they're going to see a lot of snaps in the preseason. You got Jeff Okudah versus Mekhi Blackman for that cornerback 3 spot. Unless they bring Asante Samuel in, then it changes everything. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Mekhi Blackman, who missed last season with a knee injury. Otherwise, he probably would have been a starter for us last year. Jeff Okudah, former number 3 overall pick. What can B-Flow get out of him? That'll be interesting. And then you got Dwight McGlothern. He's the wild card here. You know, he showed us a little bit last year in his limited amount of time playing and in the preseason. Maybe he shows out and takes that spot. Then we got Kobe King, who we drafted this year, versus Brian Asamoah, who hasn't quite lived up to his potential. He became somewhat of a special team ace last year, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to beat out Kobe King if Kobe King can beat him out at linebacker. Defensive line, we got Ingram Dawkins, Taki Tamani, Levi Drake Rodriguez, and Jalen Redmond. 2 of these guys make it, 2 don't, and Jalen Redmond's making it. So you're looking at Ingram Dawkins, Taimani, and Rodriguez, and we might be cutting 2 of them, which that'd be a bummer. And then special teams, you see it. We don't got to talk about it. Cody, which one on the defense are you most interested in?
So I'm most interested in the Jeff Okudah Blackman place, right? Because looking at B-Flow's defense, how he runs it, he runs the 2 outside corners and either a nickel back or a big safety. And for these guys to get on the field, I think it's going to be in that nickel back kind of role. Jeff Okudah versus Blackman, because I think Blackman's on the outside looking in when we brought in Rodgers, right? Byron Murphy's going to be on the outside. Blackman's going to, or not Blackman, but Rodgers is going to be on the outside. Who's going to fill in that back role? So that Okudah Blackman, it's going to be a fight, and I kind of like the competition, especially for Blackman as he's coming back from that serious knee injury.
Nice. Which one is it for you, Michael Fish?
I know you don't want to hear it, but it's actually that special teams battle.
Okay, that's fair.
And it's not because of the kicking. Ryan Wright is our holder for field goals and extra points. And if you all will remember, when we switched over to Ryan Wright, we had a problem with field goals and extra points for a little bit there. And it was probably because they were getting used to the whole battery of the snapper, holder, kicker. I really don't think we need to change that position right now. I hope Ryan Wright holds on.
Yeah, I mean, that probably does give him a leg up that he's the holder. So we'll see what happens there. Which one are you looking at, Shaq?
For me, I'll probably say it'll be the Kobe King versus Brian Asamoah. Only because, like, if Blake Cashman or Ivan Pace get tired or injured, who's gonna be that linebacker to fill in that role? And we kind of been waiting for Brian to step up since we got rid of Eric Kendricks. And, Kobe King is a hot commodity coming out of Penn State. So it's time to see who's going to fill in that linebacker role.
I like it. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us a lot. Also, go ahead and hit that like button. That helps us too. I'm really actually interested in the Gabriel Murphy versus Bo Richter because I really like both those guys, and I would like to see them both make the roster, but I don't know that we need that many edges on the active roster. I could also see one of these guys getting picked up if we let him go and not being able to sneak up onto the practice squad. So I'm going to be really interested in seeing this. I think they both got a little bit of action last year, not much. I think they're going to get a ton of run in the preseason. And, I mean, I don't want to say this, but if Dallas Turner struggles, one of these guys could overtake him at some point during the season. And that's not a bad thing to have on the roster. So I'll be very interested in watching Gabe Murphy and Bo Richter. And I like Tyler Batty. So I'm going to be interested in that. I don't know much about Chaz Chambliss, but I think Tyler Batty might be able to push these guys, but it's going to be a very uphill battle for him. Plus, he's like 25, 26 years old, whereas, Richter and Murphy are younger, and they already got some experience. But I'm very interested in that. We got really strong edge room. I want to see which one of these guys are going to fit in with the rest of them. Whoa. The Shaq just turned into Will Reichert?
And I know I like Unky's bringing up Byron Murphy on the inside. It'd be nice to put Byron Murphy on the inside, but you're not paying him all that money for him to take snaps off if he is playing that slot corner because of how we run our defense. We normally bring in a big safety or something to take that cornerback position too. So you're not paying him all that money just to take, you're not in today, Murphy. It's, Harrison Smith.
Well, it doesn't have to be that way because he could be the slot when there is a slot and then go the outside when there's not a slot.
But that wouldn't mean he'd be the cornerback 3, right? He'd probably be the cornerback 1, though.
That's semantics.
Yeah.
He's definitely the cornerback 1 and 2 by like who's going to play the most snaps. As of right now is Rodgers and Murphy, no doubt about it.
Yeah, 100%. The outside.
I don't even think if they brought in Asante Samuel, that changes, to be honest. I mean, he might be able to try and push Isaiah Rodgers. He ain't gonna win, but he might get that opportunity. Or they will at least tell him that he has that opportunity when they're trying to sign him.
At least there's some realism there.
Yeah.
Oh, everything I say about Isaiah Rodgers is realism. So why would I stop now? I mean, if they sign Asante Samuel, I do believe he's going to be looking for a starting spot, which is probably why we won't get him. Somebody else said it in the chat earlier. I think what's realistic is we end up signing Stephon Gilmore. Because I think he understands where he's at in his career. He does want to play. He does want to be on the roster. He's not an every down guy anymore, but he can still contribute a little bit. So I think it ends up being a signing more like that. Why do you keep saying they're not bringing in Asante Samuel? Do you know something that we don't know? Because from all indication is that they are going to talk to him. Like, why do you think they're not bringing him in? Do you know something? Like, who are you? Do you know somebody? You work somewhere?
We just found KOC's burner account.
What's crazy, guys, is that we're only 16 days away from our first preseason game. You thought 46 days was close. 16 days away from our first preseason game. You excited?
Hell yeah.
I get excited for preseason. I don't give up. Especially because we learned about all these players. So in the third quarter, we still know who they are. I mean, I might have to look up the number and that's him. Okay. Do you think we see any of JJ McCarthy in that first game?
Yeah.
You do?
We might not see him any other game, but I think we're going to see him in the first one.
Cody, do you think they should play him in the preseason?
Yeah, I would give him a series. It's just to warm up back to the game. Maybe do a series for the next week too. But then after that, you sit him. See what you got in depth. But just a series, i.e., he snaps the ball for 3 downs, and then we either punt or score a touchdown, then pull him. If he takes a sack, okay, let's see what he does after the sack. And if he messes up or throws a really good pass, then you can pull him after that too. So just something to see what you got.
Oof. Selfishly, like I do want to play just so I could see him, but part of me just doesn't want him to play because don't want to take that risk. I mean, the first, you know what happened. So it does scare me a little bit. I don't know, man. Help me out here, Shaq.
I mean, he better play in the preseason. Shit. He hasn't played since the last preseason game. It's not like he has to play all 3 games. Just play enough so he get his feet under him and you feel more confident. Because, I know we got these training camp practices, and then we're going to do the little team versus team training camp practices, but I don't think it comes close to doing the actual preseason game. And then, like, once you feel satisfied, whether it just be one series of one preseason game, at least give him the confidence to, he could do this. Yeah, I'm not saying he lacks confidence right now, but, it's just that extra security blanket of confidence. Like, preseason, continue where you left off, and then he could sit for the second and third preseason game. Then we get that bye week, and then week 1 against Chicago, Take the training wheels off.
So on that note, what about Justin Jefferson? Do you want him in there with JJ McCarthy?
Hell no. That's money right there. There's a difference of JJ McCarthy getting hurt and Justin Jefferson getting hurt.
I want JJ in there for one series with him. I'd like to see JJ Mack play at least a quarter, but I want to see one series. Look, all right, let me say it from this angle.
Go ahead.
So worried about JJ McCarthy getting hurt again, right? Would you rather him get hurt now or week 1?
You're just taking what I said about Justin Jefferson earlier.
I mean, but it's true, right? We could get Kirk Cousins right now. I don't think we could get him week 1.
That's fair. All right, you sold me a little bit, but I don't know about a full quarter, Fish. I give you a series. Like Sam Darnold got one series, and that was it for the whole preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was only due to because JJ McCarthy got hurt.
I mean, Sam Darnold was an established veteran. We got to. I mean, I feel like a little bit of just get that pace of the game, real game experience. Take a few hits, just a little bit more. You can say he can get in the practice all you want. I don't care. There ain't no replacement for game time.
I don't know, man. I might be more open to it if you give me my starting offensive line minus Darisaw.
Okay. I mean, them boys got to learn how to play together too in real world.
Right. I'd feel a little better about it.
Keep going.
You put those.
They're not playing. They better be playing.
well, KOC doesn't typically play his starters in preseason, as it was said in the chat by our boy Timmy. But also, last year, none of our starting offensive line played except for Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram was out there with the 4s and 5s.
Yeah, that's who we.
That's where he belonged.
That's where he belonged.
We started him.
But yeah, I don't think JJ McCarthy should be out there with the backup offensive line. If you're not going to play your starters, then don't play JJ McCarthy.
Yeah,
Tommy, that's the old way. The quarter first game, then a half second game. I don't think any starting quarterbacks play a half anymore.
Mahomes?
I don't think he played a half.
He's definitely playing a lot of preseason games.
He might have played a quarter.
Yeah, Mahomes had to play a lot of preseason games because it was like a whole new offense. There was no Hill there. It was just him and Travis Kelce. And what are you going to do with Rashee Rice and Worthy out there?
I remember when we played the Chiefs in preseason. They had Mahomes playing, and you know who our quarterback was? Fucking Nick Mullins.
You put some respect on his name, okay?
Wait, what was that?
When we played the Chiefs in preseason, they had Mahomes starting for at least half the first quarter, and then we had Nick Mullins in.
So we ended up winning, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Nick threw for 300 yards, didn't he?
And
Nick Mullins got paid. Nick Mullins got paid like $6 million to go be a backup in Jacksonville, so he did something right.
I mean, when he got in, he was clutch last year. I gotta give him that.
Yeah, he was like 2 for 2 for like 80 yards and 2 first downs. Not those times up, by 17 games and 30 passes. What kind of rating would that be?
That's like top 32 quarterbacks.
All right, Nick Mullins is no longer a Viking, so I'll stop being in love with him.
Yeah, start loving our Vikings like Donovan Jackson, Ty Felton, Brian O'Neill,
Brett Rippon.
Especially Brian O'Neill. Because today we are talking about the offensive line.
That's a good.
So every week, huh?
That's a good offensive line.
Can I rate
so
them
we've been going
individually?
through each position group, And last week, what did we do? We did the running backs. No, we did the wide receivers and tight ends, and we gave them both an A. The week before that, we did the quarterbacks and running backs. We gave the quarterbacks a C, which was pretty much because to be determined, and we gave the running backs a B. So this week, we are looking at the offensive line. A lot of changes. The other position groups, there hasn't been as much turnover as this one. I think it's definitely for the best. But we got Ryan Kelly at center, Will Fries at guard, Donovan Jackson at guard, Brian O'Neill at tackle, and Christian Darrisaw at tackle. And right now, at our depth, we got Justin Skol, Walter Rouse, Blake Brandel, and Michael Juergens. The only thing that scares me is we really don't have a backup center. Like Michael Juergens is a guard, and he's the reason that quarterback left Notre Dame or went to Notre Dame. Right, Cody?
Yep. Sam Hartman was done taking the sacks.
Sid Hartman.
So there it is, Hartman. Yeah, the name wasn't coming to me. But I just was getting in front of it before Cody said it. So, first up, we got Ryan Kelly, 32 years old, entering his 10th NFL season. Kelly is a 4-time Pro Bowler, second-team All-Pro in 2020. The past 2 seasons, he's missed 10 games, which if you ask Michael Fish, he missed 30 in the last 2 seasons.
Feels like
he missed 3 in 2023 due to concussions and an ankle. Last year, he missed 7 due to a neck and knee. Sounds a little bit scary. But before that, he had started 62 of 67 previous games. So I don't know that I want to call him injury prone just yet, but he's had some injuries. 2023, this is what I pulled up for his PFF. Underneath that, I got 2024, but he really didn't have a lot of snaps in 2024, missing those 7 games. But if you look at his run blocking, he was 12th out of 56 centers. Pass blocking, 3rd out of 56 centers. This isn't Garrett Bradbury. His offensive PFF, 10th out of 56 centers. So, yes, no more watching Garrett Bradbury get pushed anymore. We might see our center push somebody. He looks good in the purple, too. Don't you think, Fish?
And let me tell you something. It makes me so happy to hear that so far he's not going to be on the pup to begin the season, because I've got a take on that. If any of them are going to be wrong, it's this one. This guy is the fulcrum that's going to be the difference between how good we are. If he stays healthy, we are going to be a fucking monster, because I've been dying for the trenches to be good. He's the only offensive lineman we have that I would not bring home to meet my mother, because he looks like an axe murderer. He has a good attitude for an offensive lineman. He's going to be the killer instinct. And when he's on the field, I have no qualms about the fact that we will impose our will as an offensive line.
I think that's a very fair statement, or a few statements that you made there. I do think the offensive line will go the way he goes. Mostly because, I mean, the center, that is, where it starts. But also, like I said earlier, we got nobody behind him. So if he goes down, we're in a lot of trouble. So to that, we got his buddy Will Fries, who also came over from the Colts. 27 years old, entering his 5th season. He's played tackle his rookie year, but only took 22 snaps. He took over starting guard in week 9 of 2022, and then 2023 is where he became a full-time starter. He's been ascending upwards. 2024 was a very strong 5 weeks for him, but then he broke his tibia. But if you look down at his PFF, he was a number 5 run blocker out of 136 guards, number 18 in pass blocking, and number 4 overall. Now, again, this was just 5 games, only a small sample size, but you can see the graduation from 23 to 24. So he is ascending. I'm honestly a little bit scared because, we did give this guy a lot of money, a big contract. Like, he's actually done something in this league. He really hasn't. We're paying him on potential. That's why I love that we brought Ryan Kelly too. Like, they've played together, so they got that going for them. And I do think that's going to help him here. Do you guys have any concerns about Will Fries?
Yes.
Oh, go for it.
My concern is we didn't get Quentin Nelson for the 3 combo. The 3
I walked into that.
That's my biggest concern.
You got me. Good job, Shaq. Because I don't know how I walked into that one.
But I'm not really concerned about Will Fries. Even if he's good to great, it's still better than what we had last year, what we had with Sam Darnold. I'll take Will Fries over Ed Ingram, and I'll take Ryan Kelly over Garrett Bradbury. So it's kind of like, at worst, they're still going to be on the same level as Garrett Bradbury and Ed Ingram. And we made the playoffs with that.
Yeah, but I don't even think the floor is Bradbury and Ingram.
That's my whole point.
Yeah, it's crazy. We gave him, was it like 5 years, $88 million? So I mean, they made a big commitment to him over a pretty small sample size. But I am excited for it. Hopefully, he lives up to it. Hopefully, this guy lives up to it too, right, Michael Fish?
You what?
I just want your thoughts. I mean, it looks good in the uniform. Whoever edited this.
Okay. I think he's going to be okay. All right. I don't think he's going to be a detriment to the offensive line like, say, Ed Ingram was.
Okay.
My problem that I maybe haven't said well enough is that I don't feel like our offensive line got that much better by replacing Blake Brandel in that offensive line with Christian Darrisaw and Ryan Kelly and Will Fries and Brian O'Neill with Donovan Jackson, and having reached in the first round to take him to do so. I think that if you took this offensive line and took either one of those players and interchanged them, I don't think there would be a significant difference in the quality of the offensive line. But I also believe that either way, this offensive line is going to be really good.
Okay. That was well put, Mike Fish. Like you often just say that we reached and this and that and get mad about it, but then you never really brought up the Brandel part, which I can see, but I still expect more out of Donovan Jackson than Blake Brandel. That's my hope, because once Darrisaw went out, I hope this guy's not as reliant on Darrisaw. We might not have Darrisaw for the first 3, 4, 5 games. So, and he'll also be a rookie, so it's tough to know that if he'll be better than Brandel or not. My hope is that he's actually better than Brandel, and that there is a noticeable difference. And I don't think it's a stretch that he will be better.
He'll probably do you one better, Keith. He won't have to rely on Darrisaw. He might replace Darrisaw.
Oh.
Not replace, but take his spot while he's injured?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to clear that up a little bit. Like, we're not getting rid of him.
Nah, not yet.
You're happy with him, right, Cody?
Oh, 100%. Trust me, if you saw the last 15 years of the interior offensive line, everybody should be happy with Donovan Jackson.
But I do get where Fish is coming from. He just doesn't think it's that big of an upgrade over Brandel, especially when he has Darrisaw and Ryan Kelly to the sides. I just don't know who else we would have really picked that would have made that much of a difference. I mean, Jahdae Brown was gone. Derek Harmon was gone.
I'm not saying, oh, man, Derek, yeah, I get it. But I'm just saying that we could have done something different and made the entire team better. And I'm not even saying taking Starks. I'm saying that the trade back was there. We could have done something different.
Lenny, he played offensive tackle the last half of the season on their championship run for Ohio State and did very well. Did not give up a single sack as a tackle during the whole college playoffs. So he does have that ability to play tackle if needed, though I don't think he does it for this team.
Now, if he does come in for Darrisaw week 1 because Darrisaw can't play and he plays out of his mind and gets shifted back to left guard, I think the narrative of trading back is gone.
I think that will probably mean Brian O'Neill is going.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Wait, what? Say that again, Shaq. Say it one more time.
So if Jackson actually is able to, look pretty well at left tackle, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, you know what, we gonna ship Brian O'Neill out or get rid of him, switch Donovan Jackson to right tackle, and then just get another guard.
I love this draft pick. Let me tell you exactly why I love it. I'm so glad that we drafted Donovan Jackson because this gives us the flexibility to move on to the future. There's no more UDFA or 5th round draft pick, 6th round draft pick to replace Brian O'Neill, who's been a really good right tackle. Now we've got a bona fide first rounder who can move out to that position and make Brian O'Neill expendable so we can move on to years again of quality right tackle play. Man, I'm so glad we drafted this guy.
Yeah. And
Lenny, sometimes you just gotta let him go.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Brian O'Neill, so yes,
yes. Oh man,
he's gonna play guard for us, no doubt about it. And yes, Justin Skol will be the left tackle. We're just saying he does have that versatility. What if Skol goes down in preseason or in training camp? I mean, there's scenarios where this guy does have to play tackle for us.
Tonight, the role of Cody Bowden will be played by Keith Hansen.
Oh no, I mean, I don't think that's too far fetched.
And I don't think I get where you come from, Lenny. He's going to be strictly left guard, but I think they haven't pushed him out in training camp to left tackle because they're not going to need him at left tackle, and Christian Darrisaw will play week 1, so they're not too worried about it. Otherwise, yes, I think him at left tackle would run circles around Josh Skol, would run circles around Brandel. I think he's that good of a player.
I don't think we need him to play in the secondary, Robert, because we have Dallas Turner that's going to play safety.
You calling him by his full name?
Positionless football, baby.
I was just reading it. I was like, oh, damn it. I was like, hoping nobody catches that, Robbie. And now we got Brian O'Neill, our right tackle, 30 years old, entering his 8th NFL season, the one who can give us the most cap flexibility with a restructure and extension. 2-time Pro Bowler 2021 and 2024. Despite tearing his Achilles, he's only missed 5 games in the past 6 years. 106 starts in his career, and in the past 2 seasons, he's only given up 10 sacks and 47 hurries. Last year's run block grade was 20th out of 140 tackles, 12th out of 140 pass blocking, and 12th out of 140 overall offense. Brian O'Neill's been a pretty solid tackle for us. I didn't like the signing of him at first, the extension. I thought it was a lot of money, but that's just me, right, Tommy? I'm Kmart Keith. I don't like paying anybody. And around that time is when these contracts started getting really wild. So when I saw Brian O'Neill getting like $80 million, that kind of like blew my mind. But I actually think he's lived up to it.
Yeah, I really think that my dislike for Brian O'Neill is completely unfounded. I can't, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised he's only 30. I thought he was older. I thought he was about Ryan Kelly's age, where it was the end, I guess he's all right.
And not only that, before Brian O'Neill got here, we kind of had like a little turntable of right tackles coming in. Once Phil Lowhart left or retired, it was literally bad. It was so bad at the right tackle position. Mike Rimmers anymore?
Yeah. He's the best second round pick on this team.
That's a hot take.
Mm.
I can't argue with it because I can't think of any other second rounders.
It's hard, right? They're any good.
We usually don't have a second round pick.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that. I was like, who is the last one we drafted in the second round? When's the last time we drafted in the second round?
Oh, Andrew Booth Jr.
Andrew Booth Jr.
Well, he's not on the roster anymore, so it's still Brian O'Neill.
Yeah. Good call, Cody.
Then we got this guy. No Pro Bowls, no All Pros, 26 years old, entering his 5th season. He's played 1,891 career pass snaps and given up 18 sacks and 42 hurries. Those are good numbers. Tore his knee, ACL, MCL, week 8 of last season, working his way back, as we mentioned earlier. Not on the PUP list, start training camp, so that's good. He was having himself a good season last year. Might have been on his way to his first All-Pro or at least his first Pro Bowl had he not gotten injured. Christian Darrisaw is widely regarded as a top 2 to 3 tackle in this league. How has the man not been voted to a Pro Bowl or even a second-team All-Pro?
The injuries.
That, and if you look at the tackles who won the All-Pro, they got more name recognition than Christian Darrisaw. Even if Darrisaw had a better season, it's kind of hard to cut for offensive linemen to be like, yeah, well, who has the better stats? So it boils down to who has the better name recognition. And I think Trent Williams won it like 2 years when Darrisaw was in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least second team, though. And then, come on, Pro Bowl? I've almost made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I think behind Trent Williams was probably the Lions tackle, Penny Sewell, or the Buccaneers tackle, Tristan Wirfs.
I think it deals with the injuries that cost him all that. I mean, we had the concussion game against Dallas, and then you had the knee injury, and then a couple games he missed the past year before that.
Not to mention the fact, Cody, coming out of college, he was injured. He was injured going into his rookie season.
Yeah.
That's how Rick.
But he actually hasn't missed that many games though. Like last year, yes, because it tore his knee. But before that, his injuries, like he might have missed a week or two. Like it's not like he's missing half a season here. He's not Davenport.
But it's all fan-based voting, right, for these players that get in. And if you're
not for All Pro, it's I think it's like the AP panel. Or
All Pro, you got to play all the 17 games regardless.
I mean, I don't even think he's gotten like to be like a backup Pro Bowler. Like, okay, these guys are an alternate. Like even that, like which makes you like the 8th best tackle.
Well, that's fan voted on Pro Bowls, so you have to be winning primetime games. You have to be showing primetime games. Like last year, we were winning primetime games because of what the team we had, but Christian Darrisaw wasn't on the field. The year before that, was it Kirk Cousins? We weren't winning those primetime games, and then he went out with that concussion in a primetime game. So it's fan voted on where you are showcasing yourself is during primetime games to get in Pro Bowls. Or Madden, you look at the overall. I don't know how they vote on it. Trent Williams got a 99. Yeah, sure, make him a Pro Bowler.
I just think he's been shafted.
Yes,
and then our depth, we got Justin Skol, Walter Rouse, Blake Brandel, Michael Juergens. Yeah, it's whatever on the depth. Like it's better than Oli Udo, Drew Smaya. Maybe barely, but it's better. So that's our starting offensive line. I couldn't get one of Will Fries in purple, but I like it. These are JJ McCarthy's protectors. I like it. So I'll take a look at this year versus last year. Did we upgrade or downgrade?
Fair question.
I mean, look at that. Look at the difference.
Broke even.
Did Donovan Jackson kind of do it all off? Do you guys think that this might be the best line we've had since 2009, 2010? Like when we had like Hutchinson, Load Holt, Sullivan.
100%.
This has potential to be the best offensive line that we've had in 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. If you're a fan and you're seeing this offensive line, knowing what we had in the past 15 years, you're automatically giving it an A. That's just, you're like, yeah, that's an A.
Michael Fish, grade this offensive line.
C. Nah. I'm going to give it an A. At static, right now, everybody healthy on the field, we're a top 5 offensive line.
All right.
Called it.
Shaq?
Like Fish was saying, healthy, starting 5, I give it an A.
Y'all some homers. Cody?
Like I said, if I don't have to think about it too much. If you've been a Vikings fan in the past 15 years, you automatically give this an A.
Purple drinking homers, all of you. So what? We got some 30-year-olds on this line. You know, Ryan Kelly injured, a guard that Fish isn't happy with. This is an A.
That's what we said.
What's that Michael Jordan thing on The Last Dance? He's like, I meant that. It's like putting KOC out there on that chair. It's going to fix the offensive line after that game, and I meant it.
Yeah, I took that personal.
I took that personally.
That's my Facebook picture.
Oh, yeah. Cody, you got to call it for us tonight?
Yeah, I do got to call it, and it's going to deal with the offensive line. It's going to deal with the quarterback. So my call it tonight is J.J. McCarthy will be a bottom 5 quarterback when it comes to times sacked this year. And I'm going straight after that offensive line, the receivers around it, the running backs that we have on this field. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to have a lot more time, and there's going to be a lot more quicker throws because he can process better than Sam Darnold, to where he's not going to get sacked as much as what Sam Darnold got sacked. And Fish brought it up earlier about when seeing Kirk Cousins in the top 10. Like when you saw Kirk Cousins in the top 10, you kind of didn't believe it because of the offensive line. When you look at J.J. McCarthy in that top 10, you're like, hey, there's a chance he could be in that top 10 because of the offensive line and the weapons that are around him. So J.J. McCarthy will be bottom 5 when it comes to being sacked this year most times.
So in order for that to happen, he probably needs to be sacked less than 30 times, where Sam Darnold was sacked one of the most at 48 times. Mm-hmm. And to be fair to our shitty offensive line last year, a lot of those sacks were actually blamed on Darnold holding the ball too long. So like you said, quick passes, you know, even if our offensive line performs, he's still got to get rid of that ball. Mm-hmm. The top 5 last year, Josh Allen was sacked 14 times, Lamar Jackson 23, Bo Nix 24, Matt Stafford 28, Kyler Murray 30. And these are quarterbacks that had at least 500 dropbacks, which if McCarthy plays all 17 games, he should have at least 500 dropbacks. So he would probably need to be sacked less than 30 times. And I am buying this. I'm all in on this one. What about you, Mike Fish?
I'm selling on it because a lot of those players, those quarterbacks that you mentioned, quick releases, efficient pass plays, and our offense is not that. When we're throwing the ball, it takes a while for our plays to develop. Do I think he's going to be top 5? No. But I think bottom 5 is just a little bit too high of an expectation. I think, you know, somewhere in that 8 to 10 spot, because we do have a really good offensive line. But I think that because it takes so long for our routes to develop, he's going to hold the ball. He's going to get hit a little bit.
It's fair. I'm still buying. What about you, Shaq?
For me, I'm buying. I believe, you know, KOC probably seen the error in his ways for the last couple of years of, you know, why is this like he wants to make these explosive plays happen, but there's a time and place for everything. I think he's gonna dial back all these exotic deep route concepts and try to tone it down for more intermediate routes, which JJ McCarthy seemed to have done a good job in college doing. And, you know, getting a legit run game. So if we have a more balanced run game with a play action, I feel like it would be less pass attempts, which in theory would mean there's less chances for him to get sacked. So with all that being said, I think he might be the least sacked quarterback in the league.
Ooh, spicy. All right, Cody, you got two in us buying it. But Fish is a tough customer, but Fish, you know, he does make a point where it does feel like a lot of times, even when Sam Darnold was struggling, KOC was still calling those plays. It took forever to develop. So I do see that there, but hopefully our offensive line can hold up, and I believe they will.
Mm-hmm.
Just block for 12 seconds. That's all we need.
Oh.
You guys ready to go around the Gjallarhorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to kind of form my question to make it concise, but I got my question.
Yeah, I got to make
what
it.
What do you got, Fish?
Is Wes Phillips our offensive coordinator after this year?
Ooh. Yes. The reason I'll say yes is because I feel like even if we win a lot of games or if we don't win a lot of games, I feel like KOC is going to keep him around because they've been buddies since KOC got hired as a Rams offensive coordinator. So I just feel like KOC ain't about to let him go nowhere unless Westfield goes to become a head coach. And the only way that happens is if we win the Super Bowl or make a deep playoff run.
Tommy, the like button is a heart. Leave us a heart. I like that, Shaq. I think he will be, and I don't know if that's a good thing because that might come at losing Josh McCown, who maybe we should put him in that role because McCown's going to get offers. This is going to be the last year with McCown. Last year, he said he'd only leave for a head coaching job. You know, his perspective might change after this season where he might take an OC job somewhere. But they did give Wes Phillips the extension. And like Shaq said, that's KLC's boy. It's kind of like Kirk's Mannion. You know, kind of likes having him there. We don't know quite what he does, but the man likes to have him there next to him. So I do think he will be our offensive coordinator next year. What about you, Cody?
I don't want to answer with a yes or a no. I kind of just want to answer it with a why. Like, why is he going to be our offense coordinator or why he's not? I don't know what he does. Like, does he help this team out? Does he not help this team out? So I'm just like up in the air with it. You know, just to be fair, I would say no, because I think all offensive coordinators, all coaches, like under the coaching tree, should go out and get jobs, and it's good for them. You know what? Seeing a Vikings offensive coordinator go get a head coaching job somewhere and take him to 3 different Super Bowls like Mike Tomlin did with the defense coordinator, seeing Stefanski go out to the Browns winning coach of the year one year. Like I like seeing that, you know, and I would say no, he's not back just to the point to where I hope he goes out and he wins an award somewhere or wins a trophy or a division.
Start building that KOC tree?
Yeah, start building the KOC tree.
All right. What you got, Shaq?
Okay, so did Fish answer his question?
Oh, Fish, what do you think of your own? My bad.
I think no. I think he's not. One way or another, he's going to be out. We're going to hold on to Josh McCown. We're going to promote him.
Oh, I forgot about Josh McCown. That might work.
Even when I said it? That's all right. You were thinking about your Gjallarhorn question. I know. So let's hear it.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about JJ McCarthy. First season starting for us officially. I'm gonna go over a list of top 5 rookie quarterback seasons. I asked ChatGPT to gather a quick top 5 list. And I want you guys to pick who do you think JJ McCarthy's season will kind of mirror close to or be in the same stratosphere. So they got Cam Newton 2011 season. He threw for 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 706 rushing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns. They got Andrew Luck in 2012, who threw for 4,374 yards, 23 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. You got Fish's boy, Justin Herbert, threw for 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. You got Big Ben in 2004. He didn't have that many passing yards, but he won 14 games as a regular season starter. 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And then you got Dak Prescott, 2016 season. 3,667 yards, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 282 rushing yards, and 6 rushing touchdowns. And then he took over for Tony Romo, led the Cowboys to a 13-3 record, won Offensive Rookie of the Year. So out of those 5 quarterbacks, who do you think JJ McCarthy's season will kind of mirror?
Oof.
I'm going with Dak.
Ooh.
You weren't first.
Go ahead.
Why Dak? Why Dak, Fish?
I feel like on some of the physical stuff, I feel like JJ is a better match with Dak. Like I can't say Cam because Cam felt more like run first. Cam was like almost like having another running back in there. And I feel like with this pass first league and a pass first offense, those 4,300 yards just doesn't seem like enough these days. It seems like a light number, right, guys? It feels like everybody should be close to 5,000 yards. But yeah, I just feel like while I think he's going to have a better ability to win football games, I feel like the stat line is going to show up more like Dak. Run when he needs to, score a couple of touchdowns with his legs, get a few touchdowns, keep the interceptions down because he has a great cadre of weapons to throw to. Yep. Dak.
Okay, I like that.
I like it. Tommy, come on, man. Go ahead, Cody.
So I'm gonna go with I like the Dak one, and I'm gonna go with Dak Prescott's rookie year numbers.
Okay.
That's where I'm gonna see him at. That 500 to 600 rushing yards. He's over the 4,300 yard mark throwing the ball. I think he's going to put on a pretty good show for us. And to me, 4,000 yards is a deep playoff run for J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Because I do think the offensive play style KOC running this year is going to change differently. It's going to be a little bit different. I think we are going to run the ball, and I think that's telling when we brought Jordan Mason over. I think we're in the running back by committee, 2 running back system. We're going to run the ball. We're putting out two good tight ends out there also at all times. I just think that's a good mark. And Dak Prescott's rookie year is the mark for J.J. McCarthy.
Tommy over there calling him the ultimate game manager, so he's saying Big Ben. Fish, I like to see you drinking that gallon of water. Everybody in the audience, you should be drinking a gallon of water every day if you didn't know that, all right? Get you some vitamin D pills too. All right, I'm going with Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I think the 4,300 yards, I think that's a lot. I think he could do it, but like Cody said, we got Jordan Mason and we got Aaron Jones, so they're going to take some of the load off of him, and he might not have to throw for 4,300 yards. I think he'll be within 500 of that, but I like the 31 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, and that's what I see, a 3-to-1 ratio in touchdowns to interceptions, and I see around 30 touchdowns, somewhere 27 to 32 touchdown passes, 10 to 12 interceptions. And I'll be ecstatic if we get that Justin Herbert. And he's got the hair too. Like, I know he's cut it a little bit, but if you can get it going and flowing, Fish will jump on board real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
how could I not?
Herbert. And this was a great question. Well, which one you got, Shaq?
So for me, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna actually go with Ben Roethlisberger 2004 season. Yeah, he didn't have that many yards, but what he did was he threw enough touchdowns and he limited his amount of interceptions, and he led the team to a 14-0 as a starter in the regular season, which is doable with the weapons we currently have on the team. The funny thing is when Fish and Cody said Dak Prescott, I asked ChatGPT who it thinks would be the most likely candidate, and it chose Dak Prescott too. It said, according to ChatGPT, it said because of his play style, it's similar to Dak Prescott. They're both smart, athletic, poised, and good decision makers, but not overly flashy when they throw the ball. And their likely rookie situation, with Minnesota having Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and a good play call in Kevin O'Connell.
I can see the Dak one, especially because I do think he'll get that 200 to 300 rushing yards because he's not going to run until he has to, but when he has to, he can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think there's going to be some opportunities. He'll probably have a nice game where he has 60, 70 yards at least once, running the ball. So I definitely could see it. And the 23 touchdowns of 4 interceptions, I'll take that.
As long as he doesn't run with 8 seconds left on the clock, I think we're fine.
Oh, man. In the playoffs?
In the playoffs.
All he had to do was get 70 yards, 60, 70 yards.
That's a good.
Which Rondale Moore will do.
Yes.
He's done it multiple times throughout his career. Very Steve Smith-like. What do you got for us, Cody?
So I got a good one. It's going to deal with Ty Felton, and I'm looking back at it for him being in that slot position, right? Like we need a slot position if we're not moving Justin Jefferson into it on a motion or Jordan Addison to it in a motion. And with Jordan Addison missing 3 games, it's going to be JJ in the X, Naylor in the Y, then Felton in that slot position, right? Now let's say Ty Felton does show off a little bit in weeks 1 through 3. Does he have a chance to eat into Jordan Addison's snaps going forward in the season after week 3? Anybody can answer this.
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I'm saying no. I'm gonna say he could. I'm gonna say he can completely overtake Jalen Naylor.
Okay, but okay.
But I think Addison is the bona fide number 2 on this team. It would take a serious regression, and I don't know that Ty Felton would even get the opportunity to do what he needs to do to overtake Jordan Addison. Nah, man, I think he's solidified. But when I first was looking at the camp battles, I was thinking, is it Ty Felton versus Jalen Naylor? But I think the Vikings are going to open up the season with Jalen Naylor as a 3. But I can see him taking that. I don't see him eating into Addison. What about you, Fish?
No, let me tell you something. It goes a little – I'm going a different angle. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa will not allow that to happen. Because let me tell you, if you have another first-round pick just wilt, I mean, he can't survive all that. You know, his one good so far first-round pick that he's done, he can't have that. He can't have that fall off. At least if in a year or so we decide to trade Addison, he can get something back for that. It's justifiable. It can be explained away. But if you have another first-round pick be considered a failure on this team because he got overtaken by a third-round wide receiver, Kwesi's days are numbered.
Well, it's not just that. It's he's a slot receiver. We're looking at Felton. So I know he's not probably going to get pushed out to the X or the Y. Addison will be on the field. But you were talking he's missing weeks 1 through 3. Ty Felton might end the year, right, really close to the same snap count as Jordan Addison.
See, the way you framed the question was, will he be eating into Addison's snaps? That means he's taking reps away from Addison.
Oh, no, my bad.
But even that, I don't know that he gets as many snaps as Addison.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'll answer my own question. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Okay.
What about Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq. What you got?
Shaq's not a big Addison fan.
Yeah, of course not. I say at most, I feel like Ty Felton could be a Jordan Addison type receiver, like at his best. But right now, Ty Felton got a long way to go because the things that Addison could do, he was doing in college, and Felton needs to improve still. Like, I feel like Felton is developing, but he's not on the same trajectory as Addison. So, best case scenario for Felton would be to be the next Addison, but I don't think he's gonna be cut into Addison role. Not at least this year.
Yeah, I wonder what Robbie would have to say about this one.
And a developmental
Robbie, we know you're there.
A developmental project for him to assume the role of Addison if we have to leverage Addison out and trade him. Okay.
I can see that.
Mhm.
I can see that, but not this season. But I've said it before, like Naylor might be leveraging to take that wide receiver 2 spot because I don't think we're going to pay Addison big money if he's commanding like $30 million a year. I just don't think we're going to do that with all the players we got to pay. And if JJ McCarthy turns out the way I think he's going to turn out, they're going to have to pay him the next season. So I just don't think we can do what the Bengals did. Because the Bengals,
could re-sign
Bengals defense is crap.
Naylor for what, 11, 12? And make him our wide receiver 2 next year.
Yeah.
If
Because
he has a solid season.
everyone's like the Bengals did it. The Bengals did it, but yeah, now they got Trey Hendrickson mad and they can't sign him.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't want.
they have the worst defense in the league.
Yeah.
Tell him to get better hands and he'll get paid.
Yeah, T-Bass. Felton has had some problems with drops, so that'll be interesting to see if he can overcome that because, I wouldn't want like another like Laquan Treadwell situation where we get hyped up about a guy. So we'll see, but I have a little more faith in him than that. All right, my question for you guys. Week 1, September 8th, Soldier Field. JJ McCarthy takes the field for the first time. What happens on that drive, Michael Fish?
3 plays, and the third play is a touchdown.
Woo! Can I get details on that touchdown? Or is that asking too much?
That's asking too much because there's going to be one big play, and it might be the second play.
Okay, and then Jordan Mason might go in from the 2.
Punch it in from the red zone, yeah.
Okay.
And I would love to. That right there would be like chef's kiss for me.
All right. Do I want the upper or downer? Upper or downer? Upper or downer? Cody.
The third play in the game will be a red zone touchdown to the left corner of the end zone to Justin Jefferson. I think plays 1 and 2 are going to be big runs by our quarterback, or not by our running backs. It's going to be either Jordan Mason or Aaron Jones. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see Jordan Mason as the first guy that touches the ball or handed the ball off to in week 1.
All right. T-Bass, you've been so negative tonight. You all right, man? I think he was talking about you, Fish. T-Bass been pretty negative tonight. I'm sorry, man.
I think we've
T-Bass needed a hug. He came on the podcast instead. All right, Shaq, what happens on that first drive when J.J. McCarthy takes the field for the first time?
So I think I said this in a hot take. I had to go back and watch one of the episodes. But I said J.J. McCarthy's first pass will be a touchdown. So that would be the first drive.
Damn. Y'all some homers.
Hey, man, hot take. I told you. The hard part about a hot take is trying to find something that's hot enough. That's a take. But that's possible.
All right. Well, I'm going a different direction. We're going to go 3 and out and punt the ball.
I can see that too.
On that punt, the Bears are going to muff it. We're going to recover it inside the 30-yard line and score a touchdown. The next drive. But yeah, I think it's going to be a 3 and out. We're going to win the game. We're going to win the game handedly. But that first one, it's going to be a 3 and out. And Minnesota Viking fans uncensored is going to go off and call this guy a bust after 3 plays.
3 and out. We're going to be like, start the aftercare now.
Yeah.
Start the aftercare now.
How fast do we give up
That's
on
what happened last season. Then we the first drive, Sam Donald threw a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did throw an interception.
Yeah, I'm not calling it interception. I'm saying a 3 and out.
We were like, well, there go the season.
Probably there might be a Justin Jefferson drop in those 3 plays. All right, who's got a hot take?
Oh, I got a hot take.
Does Shaq have a hot take?
Do I have a hot take? I did, but I gotta remember it.
Fish has got one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When Cody puts his hat back on.
All right. Christian.
Hold on.
Record this shit.
I'm trying to do. After Shaq. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the hot takes. Cody, what do you got?
Christian Darrisaw will be an All-Pro this year.
Boom.
Nice.
Take that low-hanging fruit. I like it. It's actually not that low-hanging because if he misses a few games, still got to be held to it. All right. Michael Fish.
Oh, you want better, Cody. Will Fries will get an All-Pro vote this year.
Ooh.
Okay.
He'll get a vote but not make it?
Look, a guard on this team getting a vote.
Okay, I just want to clarify what you that you meant what you said. You
Yeah,
know what I'm doing.
It's the correct answer.
All right, mine. I think you guys might not think it's hot, but damn it is hot, and that is that Andrew Van Ginkel will have at least one pick six this year. Okay, the guy. You know, how often do pick sixes happen? Yes, he had
Hey,
two
King.
last year. That's fine.
Keith, do me a favor. You need to try to say it one more time because you got a little robot-y there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mine is Andrew Van Ginkel will have at least one pick six this year. Can I get a what?
That's hot.
Hey, what?
His pick sixes came at the line of scrimmage, and that's tough. So that's pretty hot.
Yeah, I could say that hot.
That's why I speak one more into existence, especially since we paid him. I don't like paying people.
Justify
All right, Shaq, what you
that.
got?
JJ McCarthy will be the NFC quarterback. Is it quarterback player of the week for week 1?
Okay. That's W. What do you mean that's it, George? George, I know you're not here every week, but we're here every week. So we got to make one every week.
Every week.
I don't got to go. You know, Van Ginkel will have 12 sacks and 5 fumble recoveries and 3 interceptions, and it'll be one less than Micah Parsons. I don't got to do that.
That's pretty hot. He only had 2 pick sixes last year. That's fucking hot.
And they were early, so like people figured him out on that shit. You know,
He should have had 3.
Yeah.
hell, I'm trying to remember what quarterback it was that actually went to throw it, saw that Ginkel was there, and pulled it back down. Who was that? I think it was a young
Caleb?
quarterback.
No.
Yeah, it was Caleb. It was Caleb.
I thought it was either Stroud or Purdy.
No, it was Caleb. It was Caleb. It was the second time he went to cock it. There, he saw Gink making that move, and he pulled it back down. Yep.
Yeah, he should have had 2 more. Guy's smart player, man.
Fine. He's going to have 5 pick sixes.
There we go. Now we're talking. Shit. Finally turned the
About time Keith moved from the mild sauce to the habanero. Come on.
Hey, I honestly don't want to make too many for the season until we get closer to the season, because then we're going to get to the season and like, oh, I already used them all. So the rest of mine from here on out are preseason. Like JJ McCarthy will lead the NFL in preseason yards.
JJ McCarthy will have Patrick Mahomes' first year starting numbers, 5,300 yards, 50 touchdowns.
Put that boy on oxygen.
He'll have a second.
1 second, fellas.
Patrick Mahomes really threw for 5,000 yards his first year starting. That's ridiculous.
And how many of those were those no-look passes?
Not many. It's a lot deep passes to it wasn't a deep pass to Tyreek Hill. He was just dumping it off to Travis Kelce.
All right, fellas, I think that's going to be our show tonight. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let's not forget, next week is our boy Michael Fish's birthday, so that's going to be a party. So everybody get your sleep. That one might be a long one, might be a late one. Plus, unlike this week, I don't work next Friday. I do work tomorrow, so I need to get my sleep. You know, it's 9:00 here, guys. It just got dark.
You poor guy.
Yeah. But next week I'm off. So Michael Fish's birthday, we'll be celebrating him. Fish owes Sarah a lot of shots, so we are going to see a drunk fish out of water. So be prepared for that. Thank you everybody who stuck around and watched and commented. You guys make this fun in the chat. I love it when you guys are talking back at us and barking. Like, that makes it fun. And you guys are all respectful about it. And you just add to it. So I love that. If you're watching this on YouTube and you still haven't subscribed, please do that. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us a lot. What do you got, Shaq? Final words.
Like Keith was saying, thanks for everybody who joined us. I know it's been a long off season, but it's almost over. Thank God. Make sure you guys, like Keith was saying, like on YouTube. You could also leave comments. You don't have to leave comments on here. You could leave a comment in the comment section for after the show if you can't always make the show. Also, if you're feeling real generous, you can always donate on YouTube by clicking the little dollar sign, or you can go to Buy Me Coffee at Let's Go and send donations that way, or even Cash App. If you have a Cash App, you send donations to Let's Go on Cash App. We take all donations, and we greatly appreciate it.
Or the green name, Shaq. You got to add the green name.
Oh, the green name. I forgot about. So if you want to become a member, and like our boy Timmy, and you can see my name when I type on YouTube, you'll see that our names are green. That basically shows that we're a member, and it basically helps out the podcast to grow.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Shaq. Mike Fish, what do you got?
All right, so this one's going to be a little bit longer than I normally do. Right before the show, the Minnesota Vikings YouTube channel put out a video that was Dan Barreiro interviewing KOC, and there were 3 good takeaways that I got from that. Dan Barreiro specifically asked KOC in a comparison. He mentioned how the Chicago Bears were handling their practices earlier in the day so they could get in, get out before the weather got too hot. But we were having our practices later in the day, and KOC said, yep, practice is at 2:30. And I'm going to use these elements I'm paraphrasing big time here. He said, I'm going to use these elements to toughen these guys up. We'll be smart about it, but I want them out there in the elements in harder situations to get some calluses on them about things like that before they have to play in it. I like that. The next thing that KOC brought up, because Dan Barreiro asked him specifically about the playoff loss to the Rams. KOC lets a bad loss like that eat into his craw, and he mentioned a couple of other games where they lost, and he still thinks about them, and he still dwells on them, and he still thinks about what he could do better and how the team will need to improve moving forward. And I like that because they dug into the trenches after that loss. And he still thinks about it. And some people think about the memory like a goldfish. Yeah, if you're a cornerback. But as a coach, when you have to lead the team, you always have to think about, we were in this situation, this is where we're at, and this is how it ended up. And I don't ever want to be in that situation again. So I like that a lot. And then the third thing, and this one's might even make Cody crack a grin. He talked about efficient runs. He said about how, yeah, it's nice to crack open a 35 or 40-yard run, but he really wants to put J.J. McCarthy in 2nd and 5 a lot. So he wants to get a lot out of the run game this year to put him ahead of the chains. And that was music to my ears. He's got the tools to do it now, and shit, yeah, let's do it. That being said, love you guys. Next week's going to be a party.
Yes, sir.
I got to figure out how many shots I owe Sarah.
A lot.
I know. Oh, shit. And let's Skol to 20 more years, fellas.
Let's go, baby. Cody.
So, going to ask the chat. Ask who's going to watch this a little bit later. If you're going to be in Minnesota around September 13th, Saturday, for that first home opener game, Sunday Night Football on the 14th. On the 13th, there's a get-together. It's called Skol Fest. It's going to be at the Crooked Pine Ale House in Minneapolis, Minnesota from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets are absolutely free. Come hang out with us. Come chat with us. Come talk with us about our show. Come talk with us about the Minnesota Vikings. What do you like about our show? What do you don't like about our show? We're here to hang out with everybody at this party and do enjoy the game. Let's enjoy the game together. Let's enjoy some beers together. maybe a little food on the side and some conversation. Again, absolutely free. If you want to get tickets, it's at skolfestmn.com. Completely free. Come join us. We'd love to see you all there. And like always, don't beat your dog. Don't beat your wife. Don't beat your kids. Always. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. That's the show. Thank you guys for sticking with us. It was a good crowd tonight. Like I said earlier, appreciate it. Man, get your rest Wednesday night because it's going to be a party on Thursday. We're going to have a good show for you guys as we always do. But we're also going to be celebrating our boy Michael Fish, and you know how we do. So until then, let's fucking Skol.
Let's Skol, baby.